2. Yeah, here we go.
Subconsciousness in terms of behavior and certain things I can't do anymore, or as freely, I should say, as freely as I could before. That's not to say that I don't go for walks. I do, and I enjoy them. The fact that I now have to think about this, I think, really speaks to the power that damaging racist stereotypes about black men
Sorry.
affect how I behavior, my thought processes about my behavior. Another thing I've been cautious about since transitioning to another behavior change is being careful, or at least conscious of how close I'm walking behind someone. This is something I did not think of at all prior to transition.
Yeah, the same thing. I mean, I didn't think of it. Whoa! I've stayed up all night. Anyway, you see like a light coming in from, outside, but really, like, and here's my room. Now that, I can explain that. All the stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to right now. I'm not a naturally junky person. Or maybe I am. I don't know. Oh, I've been up all night. But there's the light. And there's also the light. But there's the light. And there's also the light. From outside. But anyway, yeah, back to what he was saying. Yeah, definitely. Before my little, incident where white people were basically running away from me, I mean, even though, like, I started to become conscious, oh yeah, I'm a black guy, like, now, like, I can't walk as close on people as I used to, regardless if there is or not a lot of space. Now, usually I'm not just walking up on them because I'm actually intentionally trying to do something. I'm trying to look at their phone, or I'm trying to, swipe something, or whatever, swipe or no swiping. Anyway, yeah, whatever. Little kid here, but really, I'm a little kid. Really, look at the bubbles, right? It was just because I wasn't paying attention. Like, maybe I'd be, making a video or uploading a video, I don't know. Looking down at something, trying to put something in my pocket, I don't know, like, and then I'd look up and I'd be closest people. I'm not talking about, like, on their heel, but, and then I'd have the person turn around, white person, or the Asian woman, or I don't know, just kind of turn around and be kind of startled, like, I don't mean the usual way, but they'd speed up and, like, look back and keep looking back and be scared, or they'd give me, like, a look like, stop it, or, I'm on you, or something like that. It's like, damn, I'm not doing anything. But yeah, that one random night, I was walking to the, this is the same day I actually got a ticket, a parking ticket. It was stupid, very, very stupid. I parked on the side of the street, and I mean, I tried to squeeze in room and everything. It was fine. It seemed fine, but I made sure it wasn't, like, blocking the walkway and whatever. I had to walk so far because, yeah, I had parked my car so far away, and the space was already running out, so I had to try to get somewhere, and I finally got somewhere that was safe, but it was like 20 minutes away from the center I was walking to, the Queer Center. This is in Raleigh, and anyway, so I'm walking, and this is on my way to the center. Yeah, there's white people in front of me, and first is the white woman. She happened to look back, right? And when she saw it was me, a black person behind her, she got scared. Just a single black person, right? She got scared. I'm not even the tallest. I'm not the most beefy. I'm not the most deep voiced, black guy. I'm not the tallest black guy. I don't even have any facial hair. So, yeah, she looked back and she just got really scared and intimidated. Maybe someone's like, how do you know? I know. I know that's what it was. I'm not a fool. You know what? That's the thing, and that's the problem. Like, black people, we always want to tell ourselves that things aren't we want to tell ourselves things aren't what they are, but we indeed instinctively know them and hold them deeply, truly to be as they are, right? Try to play into the illusion bullshit. No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing into the game. Not anymore. I'm gonna stop giving whites the benefit of the doubt. When you say something a certain way, I know what you're saying it for, and I'm gonna hold you to it. Then again, I know you're probably not gonna change your ways anyway if I'm trying to honestly, genuinely talk it out with you or work something out with you. Then again, that can be like a universal thing, not just a white thing in regards to black people. All right, when you're trying to tell them something and they never believe you, or you just never believe or whatever. I remember I got sent to ISS for no damn reason. Told that white guy, no, I didn't do it. I just came from here. You just saw me come from there. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't never there. I didn't do that, and I don't know what you're talking about. He just, well, let's send you anyway. I'm like, let's send you to ISS anyway. I'm like, what? I just told you I didn't do it. He said, yeah, well, I don't like how defensive you're being. I mean, anyone would be defensive about something like this. Come on, you're literally sending me to ISS. You're messing up my day, right? Like you're gonna get it put into the system that I'm like this bad kid when I literally didn't do anything. Like, it's gonna forever go down on my record as, this and that, and I know I didn't do this and that. Like, it's gonna mess up my class schedule for the day. It's gonna mess up my classwork and math. That was the class I passed, but that was the class that used to kick my ass. That was a class that I used to have to really try to make sure I was in there for. Now with the BS bathroom situation, yeah, I'll be like 10-15 minutes out of the class already, so but really. And then not to mention whenever I'll be randomly stopped again, right? Stopped in the halls. Excuse me, where are you going? Where are you supposed to be? Where's your pass? And I showed them the pass. They'd be like, who are you? What's your name? Even though it clearly says it on the fucking pass. What is this pass for? Is this fake? And why is it torn a little bit over here? Because it's worn. I've been using it for a while. It's worn out, you jackass. I really I don't believe this. Let me call the office because I think this is fake. And then I'm standing there for another 8 or 10 minutes staring at this fool because they're holding me up, literally wasting my time, but they won't let you leave. If you say, look, I don't have time for this, I have to get back to my class, or if you say, I really have to get back to my class, whether you're nice about it, whether you're rude about it, whether you're blunt about it, doesn't matter, right? Either way, oh, well, now you're leaving, and now I'm going to write you up because now this is, now you're just trying to, run away, and now I know you're lying, right? Now I know this is fake, or now I'm going to try to keep this pass and throw it away because I think it's fake, or, just stupid crap. Just randomly stopped, and that's extra 10 minutes I'm out of class, and then, again, I come into class, and my white teachers look at me like I'm just another nigga skipping, right? I just must have been skipping or something like that, but no. Yeah, man, trans life, and yeah, just regular discriminatory bullshit. But I'm gonna tell you, you get used to things, and I also get used to telling myself lies about, whites and their behavior and regarding me and their nature and things like that. Me as a black person, I get used to it. I get used to trying to, cover up them. I get used to, telling myself lies and believing these false lies to protect them. Protect them for what? They're already good. They're good. They're living in their world, their way, their how. So what? Are they really supposed to be scared of some black kid who calls the police? Yes, excuse me, I was mugged by this person. Oh, okay, that's interesting. What time is it over there? And like they randomly hang up or something. Like, yeah, okay, let's see how, much that white guy's life is gonna be messed up. I remember this old white guy, he hit me. Crashed into me, literally. I'm not trying to reference Dave Matthews Band. Anyway, he literally crashed into me, and that's how I got my first car accident. Now my car is registered as wrecked. It's going to be registered as wrecked and, been in a car accident, that kind of stuff, because it's within the history now, And the insurance had to end up paying a bunch of fines and fees, but not his insurance. His insurance didn't even cover anything, to be honest. I mean it. Not a single bolt of the car tire. All out of my insurance. Now, maybe you think, oh, well, it's just because he was an older white man. No, it's not just that. No. Take the old part out of it. Anyway, let's get back to this.
But since transitioning, I've noticed that I'll get nervous glances, particularly if I'm behind women, regardless of the race, white women, black women. And so now when I'm out in public, if I'm walking behind someone, that person's a woman, often what I'll do is I'll just walk quickly and pass the woman so that she's behind me. And I wanted to say, though, that...
And I used to do that, too. Like, women, especially, like, women, like, and their children. Like, again, I wouldn't notice how close we would be. Maybe we would be close not just because it was my fault. Maybe the kids were lacking or, you know, kind of like lollygagging or whatever. Lollygagging. Here you go. Anyway, behind or whatever, you know? You know what kids do. They're playing and they're straying and, you know, whatever. And then I happen to look up and realize, oh, these white kids are literally in my lap. You know, like in front of me. And the white kids or Hispanic kids, Asian kids, they look back at me like they're scared or something. Like, I'm not trying to grab you. You're okay. You don't need to be scared.
That I understand the safety concerns for women, particularly those who are walking around at night. I remember when I was living as a black woman that I would be cautious about who was around me, being super vigilant, super conscious about my surroundings at night.
And even that I can vouch for. It's the same thing now. Because I no longer live my life as a trans man, like masculine, representing trans man. I no longer do that anymore. So I'm again walking around here with my, you know, with my breast out, right? Wearing a bra, you know, and going about daily life. Even if I'm not wearing like the most tight-fitting, ultimate feminine form of clothing, right? It's still pretty obvious that I'm a girl, especially because I don't deepen my voice anymore, and not like I passed that much anyway, right? Even when I did. Hold. Look at my dog. Psst, Rufus. 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 Psst. Rufus. Ugh. Anyway. I'm just saying, like, there are things I'm getting used to again. There are things I'm going to leave behind because I'm no longer going to be treated a certain way. Psst, Rufus.
I remember this moment in my transition where I thought about my own internalized racism during that time, because I remember distinctly I did not react to white men or Asian men or even Latino men in the same way. It was specifically black men.
And even I can vouch for that. That is still a given, even today. It's really weird. It is really weird. Like, I'm trying to, like, I'm for my people, but yet at the same time, I'm against my people as well. It is still very weird. And I've said in other videos how, like, I feel the majority of the black community, how they are, and how I find that I can't stand the majority of black people of modern today. I'll admit it, I can't. Right? The average ones you see on the streets, like, I can't stand them. I can't stand their behaviors. I just can't get with it. I just can't get with the times. I just can't. I still get along better with white people. Still. Despite what I know about them. Yeah, it's weird. But, anyway.
That I remember being on guard about. And I remember thinking that, you know, since beginning my transition, this sort of dual consciousness of going from
Bye-bye head.
Seeing black men as a threat to actually embodying the threat in the minds of many women. So while I do understand that men do pose a threat for women, and why women have to be extra cautious because of the threat of physical violence, I do think that black men are seen as aggressive as predators, and I think in a way that other men aren't. Blackness as a whole is stigmatized, and we're all socialized into a society that stigmatizes and penalizes blackness. Another behavior change for me since
okay, I'm sorry.
transition was sort of monitoring my responses to certain things, so I'm not seen as angry black man. Um, this is the most, I think, of all the things I mentioned so far in terms of how my behavior's changed. I think this is like the weirdest one for me. I mean, I remember being in situations where that would just escalate through no fault of my own. There was this one time when
Even I can vouch for that. Like, plenty of, like, little things. Like, it would be someone asking for a pen, asking me, like, tapping me, right? Like, in class, and before I knew it, they would be replying. 2, 3 minutes go by, they would reply, like, with some salty ass remark. Like, some passive aggressive, sarcastic. And I'm like, then everyone's laughing, or some people are going, ooh, like whatever. And I'm sitting there like, what just happened? Like, I don't get it. Like, what? What are you hurt for? You're not hurt. You didn't get punched. I don't get what you're, a boo-hoo sore loser about. Like, I didn't even say anything to you. I didn't do anything, but it just escalated that quickly. And even with the administrators. Now that was with the kids I was talking about, but with the administrators, like, yeah, like I said, teachers and excuse me, where are you supposed to be? Well, no, I don't very like much. I don't very like much your tone. I'm gonna call the principal down here. For what, lady? Like, you stopped me. You're in my face, asking about who I am, where I'm going, where are my papers, right? Ring a bell? Just hostile for no reason, like.
and a group that I advised was having a party in a venue, and I had made a reservation to use the space. But I noticed that there were other people using the space. And so I went to the person in charge. I asked them, I was like, I reserved the space, and does that mean that we have sole use of it, or does that mean other people are allowed to use it? And she interpreted my question as hostile. She got really close in my face and was like,
And like like you can encounter so many different people of a background, of a certain background, who's like that. I understand that definitely, but yeah, they take your plain question, your plain tone as like a fucking attitude or something. And I'm like, yo, you need a reality check because now you're coming at me the wrong way, and I don't feel like dealing with this. I don't have the patience to just breathe and brush it off or just laugh about it, try to make a joke out of it, like in my head, and go on and continue to try to be decent to you. I don't have the patience. Like, sometimes it really pisses me off. Like, you need to calm down if you're coming at me, you know? Like, they take it as an attitude, and it's not even that serious. Why are you trying to twist things? You're purposefully twisting things around and making a situation. And either way, like, it almost made me cry, like, really, because I'm just so frustrated because I knew no matter what the situation was, whatever they were turning it into, I knew what, the repercussion would always end up being. I knew the end response. I knew the ending, always. It would always end up coming back on me. Me getting suspended, me getting written up, me, having the phone call on me. Oh, yeah, well, they were very disrespectful and they just wouldn't do this. They just wouldn't sit down. They were just, very sarcastic. They were just, condescending. It's what? I hardly said any words to you. What do you mean? You're the one who came to me and approached me with some attitude and, tone and aggression, hostility just built up. Just waiting to pounce. Like, I don't get that. It doesn't matter what I said, how logical I said it. I couldn't seem to dig my way out of the situation that they made for me. Either way, it ended up the same. I'd always end up in the same place, being at fault for something that they would approach me for. I didn't even know what the hell they were talking about. Like that stupid guy. Well, well, I'm just gonna send you to ISS anyway. What? What for? I don't like how defensive you're being. You're making my job really hard. And then I lost it. I said, you know what, fool? I know what you want me to say. You want me to just sit here and say, yes, I did it. Because you're just so easily willing to just, convict someone like me. You're just so easily willing. I'm making your job difficult. Why? Because I'm not just a simp. I'm not just giving in. I didn't put it exactly like this, but because I'm not just easily giving in and saying, yes, you caught me. Yes, sir. Yes, no, sir. Yes, sir. Because I'm not just easily giving in. I'm not saluting you and your stupid white flag. Huh? American my ass. You know, this is how I'm making your job harder because I'm not just, giving in. I'm not just giving into that typical, black image, right? Oh, yes, it must be me. I must have been the troublemaker. Yes, sir, you caught me. I was the one to do it. You're so right, sir. I am guilty. Yes, sir. Right? Because I'm being defensive and I'm not making your job easy. You mean by just idiotically, mindlessly agreeing and saying yes to whatever the hell you blame me for and you put on me? Next thing I know, I'm being booked and I'm taken to jail, right? Y'all need to look into the school to prison pipeline. It's real. And it almost happened to me because I had some pig cop in my face. Really. He's the reason why I had to go and get hours. He's the reason why. And he just had this smug look on his face the whole time. It's the same look that all of them do. All the time. All the time, like. Because they know they're ruining their life. They know what they're doing. They know where it's going to end up for you. Look at my dog. They know what it is. And they don't care. And they know they don't have to care. Because it's not them going through it. It's not them, their lives being ruined. It's not the citation. They have to try to, pay for and work out in court and all that other crap.
Is there a problem? And I'm like, no, I'm just asking. It was really weird. And so situations like this, she interpreted my question as hostile. She got really close in my face and was like, is there a problem? And I'm like, no, I'm just asking. It was really weird. And so situations like this have definitely...
Y'all hear that tone? Is there a problem? Y'all hear that tone?
Happened a lot more.
Y'all see just how easily and willing they are to talk to us any kind of way? Is there a problem? Right? At least we let you into our building. We didn't shoot you as soon as you stepped in. You need to be courteous of all the rights and privileges we've given you over the years, Negro. Really? Is there a problem? Bit pop that.
Worse is transitioning, and though I can never prevent that from happening. I do try to be extra polite, extra courteous than I normally would be with strangers, particularly if they're white folks, because I feel like
I get that too. I mean, like, in the place of being a black female and a black male, I've done both of those things. Like, to be honest, especially like if I wanted something like from the teacher, right? My white teachers, or like even like my white boss, even today. Like, I realize as a black person, black male, like, even you're taught growing up. Well, I mean, if you're taught a certain way. My mom taught me, this is how you approach people, this is how you present yourself to them. But I feel like there was an underlining level of, this is how you have to make sure that, you dress appropriately, you talk, proper, right? That was always what it was called. Talking proper is just another way of decoding, saying, talk wide enough for them to want to let you in. Talk wide enough for them to want to promote you. Talk wide enough for them to not walk away in the middle of while you're talking to them. I already have perks because I'm black, but at least I'm a female. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell you, it just used to tear me up. And I realized, what he talked about, like when you realize the moment that you were literally a simp when you're talking to them a certain way and how you switch up your talking around them and things like that. Like, I used to realize that all the time in my classrooms and how I try to raise my hand extra high and have to fight so extra hard to try to boast and use all those analytical words, right? And just prove how much I was and how much better, or in other words, equal to them as I could, as I could be, right? Use all those big words whenever I talked and raise my hand and talk so proper and so analytical in my senses. It was a jumble. trying to speak and trying not to mess up, trying not to say something that's wrong, or trying to not pronounce a word. Let's say I'd be reading out in class, trying not to pronounce that one word. You're looking at it, and in your head, you're like, oh, okay, I don't know that word. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let me just, give it my best shot. Try to pronounce that one word you've never come across before the right way, right? The same way all the little audio tapes will pronounce the word. If the audio tape, the stereo was reading the same book out loud, right? The follow along readings, the same way all those other white kids would pronounce it, right? I remember some of those white kids that they weren't half as good as me, but I still felt like I wasn't quite good enough. Like I still felt like I had to be, better than better, the best of the best. It doesn't matter because you'll still never be good enough. You'll still never get into the, their white schools and their white institutions, and they're mainly white businesses, right? White managers and CEOs and branch managers, and you'll still never get them because they don't want your black ass. They don't want you.
I have to disarm people because based on how I look, they may read anything that I say or do as aggressive. So I've been thinking about all this. I've been sort of linking my experiences that I just talked about in this video and in previous videos to the sort of whole Black Lives Matter movement. And, specifically with, the things that I've sort of learned to either not do or just be cautious about, my behavior in a different way. So, for example, with the sort of being cautious about how my behavior looks when I'm in public, making sure I look like I have a purpose. There was a man in Michigan who was,
it kind of reminds me, the more I hear him say that word, right? Cautious, right? That word. And what's so special about it to me is he's talking about I have to be cautious the way I act, cautious of what I'm wearing, cautious of what I say and how I say it. Cautious, that word. That word is thrown out. Cautious. On edge. A bit of paranoia. Watching your back, okay? Who's watching me? Who's looking at me? Okay. Oh, snap. Okay. Oh, man, I see that little woman. Okay. I see her looking at me a certain way. Oh, it doesn't look like a good look. I think she's scared. Of me. Okay. Let me just try to walk around her. I know I have to pass by that corner. Let me just try to do it in a way that shows her that I am of no harm, right? Throw my hands up, right? Whatever. Hands up, don't shoot, whatever. Whatever, man. Look. Cautious, that word. When he's talking about the things he has to remind himself to do and not do, and what to say and what to wear, and how to say it, right? That kind of takes me back to, slaves being whipped. They had to respond a certain way. Constantly cautious. They had to respond a certain way. They had to move a certain way. And mannerisms that presented no hostility, right? Yes, massa. They had to respond a certain way. Make sure that they acted a certain way. Make sure that they didn't have a certain look on their face, right? Present a certain way. It is the same damn thing, just without the whip. How they handle you, how they'll handle your black ass is the same way. Just no whip, and instead it's replaced with a phone call by the police. And the police actually are given the authority to possibly beat and whip your ass. That's really the main difference. You're still cautious when you're around these white people. Except these white people on a daily, they don't carry around whips waiting to whip you on your back or on your legs, on your face, whatever. No, they'll call the police because it's like that's kind of replaced the whip, right? They call in the mafia, right? They call on the squad, the crackers, and they do the policing, the protecting. They'll be the ones who slam you on the ground or whatever, choke you to death. Eric Garner. And if you're telling them stop, I can't breathe. Stop, you're hurting my wrist, right? Sandra Bland, you're hurting my wrist. What are you doing? Stop. Stop. I'm not moving. I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting. Stop resisting arrest. I'm not resisting. Stop. Stop. You're hurting me. Stop. You're on my foot. Stop. I can't breathe. Well, you must be crazy. If you're saying any of those things, you must just be crazy. You must just be trying to escape, trying to distract so you can just run off, right? You must just be saying it just 'cause, right? Just up in the air, whatever kind of stuff. There's no real purpose to it because, again, you're a nigga. There's not much of a purpose for anything you do, right? Even you don't know what you're doing or why you're saying what you're saying. So they're just going to continue to twist your wrist, Sandra Bland, and choke you, Eric Gardner. Both of which of these people are dead. One of them just happened to be caught on camera, the actual death, while the police was actually killing the guy on camera. And yet body cams are supposed to help the police brutality. No, we have body cams, but that still hasn't, masked anything. Not much. Besides, video and audio can still be edited and messed with and swayed,
Walking with his hands in his pockets because it was cold outside, and he got stopped by the cops. If we think about Trayvon Martin, for example, he was someone who was walking, to his home, and George Zimmerman said, he looked like he was up to something, and like he was on drugs. And I don't say that to blame Trayvon Martin in any way for his death. He's not to blame, but I point this out to say that innocuous actions can take on a totally different meaning and be seen as threatening or hostile or dangerous if it's in the context of a black body doing these actions. So to the black trans men who are watching this, and especially those in the earlier stages of their transition, just understand that you're not the problem. Like I said before, the problem is how our society stigmatizes and penalizes. What happened to you when you do certain things, I think, is something that's really
happens to me experiencing racism differently. I talked a little bit about that in my invisibility, hypervisibility video.
This is an earlier video of him still talking about some of the same things. So again, it's not anything that's changed. The game has never changed. It's the same thing. It's universal.
As I've been learning more and more as male, I've just been getting really angry a lot of the time over how people are going.
Yeah, and he should be. He should be.
Based on my being a black man.
So was I.
Being read as a black man.
I was very pissed. And you have the same time, you're forced to carry this anger, right? Because it's okay, you're angry, so what? Boo-hoo. Take it. You know what I'm saying? Well, you are black, so what does that mean? Why am I forced to just take this? Why is this supposed to be okay? You have these situations that happen, right? The police are just, whatever, regular people day to day, or rejections of jobs, or whatever, laid off from jobs, whatever, last hired, first fired, you know what I'm saying? And yet you can't even talk about it. You're not supposed to say anything about it. You're not supposed to feel anything about it. You're just supposed to be a man and go on, right? You're just supposed to be oblivious to everything. So I'll tell you, you'd be surprised how many black people have been through certain things, especially black men, the things they've gone through for such a long time. They haven't been able to open up about it, talk about it, because, hey, who the hell is supposed to care? Number one, you're black, so what do you expect? That's what you deserve, right? And two, you're also a man, so, man up, right? It's that kind of thing. You're kind of guilty either way to kind of accept your punishment, accept what's handed to you. I feel like that's also what can make a black man really strong and kind of admirable and, basic protector, That's something that a white man will never have, those instincts of protection, because they're not forced to actually put up with a certain, circumstances and have certain endurance for things, right? It's not the same.
But just to give an example, like I was at a hospital like over a month ago, actually almost 2 months ago, and there was this nurse that was doing the intake, and she started asking me questions about my education level. So she started out asking me,
I'm gonna make a part 3 or whatever to this.